For once, it is not the fault of Meredith Sprague Burgess. She had laryngitis mid-session. No, the fault lies within the rest of the body. And it is time to name names. This year's inductees into Anon. Now, I may offend some people. I didn't get into politics to be popular. But so far, that's working. Now, as I offered to do a week ago during announcements, I did exclude 3 members of this body who wish to be omitted from award consideration. I will not reveal who they are. But if there are any glaring omissions, I can't prevent the body from speculating. Now, I have to admit, I'm not as prepared this year. I may stumble around a little bit, lose my place, a lot like a Gary Knight speech. Now, in the context of Anon, you know sooner or later I'm going to mention Brad Bolton, so let's get that over with now. I'm embarrassed that this, or I'm saddened, I guess, that this duty falls to me, but I'm not embarrassed. Embarrassed is when you don't realize your family, or your wife is talking to your entire family on Skype, and you walk into the room naked. The holidays are really going to be different this year. I can't promise that this is going to be pretty. I have stopped fighting my inner demons. I'm on the same side. Mr. Speaker, I don't write jokes. I just sit here in the back row and I observe and I report what I see. And I can tell you right now, this is the last time I follow Stacey Fitz in a vote. You can see a lot from the back row. On the gaming bill, you can tell that Beth O'Connor wanted to speak in the worst way. And she did. I would like to say how much I enjoyed Seth Berry singing the national anthem. Because for once you knew when he was going to finish. Although there are 4 verses, and if there's anybody who would ever sing them all. Now, some of you do know the secret for crafting a short, effective speech. For the love of God, please give that secret to Mike Carey. He went us so hard about writing a short speech. If 140 characters is good enough for Twitter, it should be good enough for Anon Logic. You know, Mr. Speaker, I know the House worked in a very tight budget this session. Some of the cuts were so deep, we no longer record and transcribe our history. We just have Lance Harville remember it. This was funny when Lance started to stand up and speak the judicial deference bill and then sat back down again. It proves what we all knew. The only person who can shut up Lance Harville is Lance Harville. Lance did manage to leave Diane Russell speechless once this session. Teach me that power, Obi-Wan. Now, I'm a big influence in money and politics. On the other hand, I think we would all join in paying David Webster to sit down. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, there are so many things we agree on. Les Fossil isn't as funny as he thinks he is. Wayne Perry's tax speech is as loud as a Jeff McCabe shirt. A speech by Andrea Boland lasts longer than a Kim Kardashian marriage. We agree that term limits are a good thing if they get rid of both Bob Duchesne and Jonathan McCain. I mean, that's a win-win. But the House will lose some good people too. Democrats will lose George Hogan. Republicans will lose Steve Hanley. But running from them makes you faster. From Ralph Sardi, I've learned that if you want the chamber to be full when you do your floor speech, speak before he does. From that flood, I've learned that whatever hits the fan will not be evenly distributed. From Annie Graham, I've learned that silence is golden. But duct tape is silver, maybe that'll work. I've learned that 63.4% of the time, Kerry Prescott is misusing statistics. From Dana Dow, I've learned how to get the last word in any debate. You just use up all the words so there are none left for anybody else. From Andre Cushing, I've learned that there is an upper limit on how much we humans can understand, but no lower limit. I do have to say in his defense that the average IQ of the debate does not go down 20 points every time Chuck Kruger rises. Just seems that way. I don't have a joke for Alan Casavan this year, but I know he can't always hear me in the back, so if this seatmate can just lean in, tell him I insulted him so he doesn't feel left out. Dean Craig on a smartphone. It hasn't helped. Now, Paul Davis said something interesting the other day. Boy, was I surprised. Now, I don't know if Jim Parker's last argument was circular, but I couldn't find a point. Irony is Kim Rosen, a speaker broke down. A speaker who's never spoken. Said more in 8 minutes from the rostrum than in 8 years. My thanks to Wendell Weaver, Ryan Harmon, and Don Thylon for finally straightening out the wood-pellet bill. After multiple reports, multiple amendments, multiple committees of conference, I just would have sent it to appellate court. Mr. Speaker, we could speed this up. I have a suggestion. The next time you look down and you see Walter Kamiga, Doug Damon, Rob Hunt, and Justin Timberlake that push their buttons to speak, recognize them all together. Let them speak simultaneously. We're not listening anyway. Look at the time we'll save. I mean, sometimes it's just painful. Listening to Melissa Walsh-Innes is like hearing the speaker pronounce foreign names. Maybe we should be like the Academy Awards. If Megan Maloney speaks too long, music starts playing. Or basketball. If Sharon Treat speaks more than 24 seconds, a horn goes off and the other side gets ball. I can explain John Dink. He's a lawyer. Lawyers think a 17-page document is a brief. Calling a lawyer brief is like calling Fox News. Jane Everly is so slim, where does she store all those words when they aren't being used? Brian Bolduch's record is intact. He got a unanimous ought not to pass on a sentiment. Beth Turner put in a sentiment for a winning basketball team that didn't win. Helen Rankin is 80 years old. She was only 77 when Tim Driscoll started his last speech. We won't actually know if Helen is the oldest member of the House until we have Dick Wagner carved and dated. Howard McMahon proves that old politicians never die. They're just indefinitely postponed. Now, I am a registered organ donor. Someday I will give up a vital organ to save a life. And every time Cheryl Briggs rises on a sentiment, I think, why wait? We waste so much time waiting for the other body to stop talking. Can you imagine what this is going to be like if Gary Comer gets down there? The race I'm really looking forward to, though, is Emily Kane for Senate. I mean, who could go negative against her? It's like whacking a cheerleader. Madam Member of the House, I hope you enjoy these waning moments of the 125th legislature. So many of us won't be returning because we are turned out, because we've chosen not to run again, because we're bed chipping. going to know if it's because you enjoyed my last speech or because it is my last speech. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.